Hello, Carol Berenger here from Pilates and More in Wayne, Pennsylvania. And this is the Radnor Memorial Library series, a five-part series of Fall Back into Wellness. And it began late September and will take us through till about Thanksgiving. And then hopefully we'll do something for the winter as well. And we are finishing up the series with a quadruped series. So what's really important about quadruped is that as we age, and as we started as a child, the way to get up and down from the ground is through a quadruped position. And so if we are strong in a quadruped position and going through a lot of mobility, so if we're stable in a quadruped position and can move with stability, that it will just help us. So, you've always saw those silly commercials about I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, we're not going to let that happen to anybody that views this series or participates. Okay, so you want to get into a quadruped position. That means one hand under each shoulder and one knee under each hip so that we're on all fours. And most of the things that we've done in this series will support you doing very well in this position. So we're on all fours, and a problem that a lot of people have is that there's weight in their wrists, and their wrists are sore. And we use our hands so much with all our technologies these days that the way to be lighter on your hands is to be more strength aware and endurance aware in your torso. So with one hand under each shoulder, the palm of your hand correlates to the upper abs. Your arch in your feet correlates to something in your low belly. And then if we pull our belly away from our shirt in a neutral spine in the quadruped position, we are lighter on both our hands and our knees. Some people have cramping when they point their foot like this. It's called plantar flexion, and this is called dorsiflexion. So if you have, as we work through these, any issues, you can tuck the toes under. They're both using the arch of the foot. So one hand under each shoulder, fingers spread wide. That helps your arch of your palm engage, and it's just great for your fingers. And it'll distribute the weight. And then one knee under each hip. And then you just want to pull your belly away from your shirt. You're going to take the pointy parts of your elbows and turn them back towards your thighs. So if you participated in the planking series, the pointy part of your elbow rotating back towards your thigh engages the front and back of your shoulder girdle. And we call it the steering wheel connection when you're connected all the way through. So even being here, you want to play with this and find where you feel stable. Turn the elbows back towards your thighs. Send your tailbone backwards. Lengthen the crown of your head forward. Even think of pulling your breastbone forward through your arms will lengthen your spine. And then if you just pull your belly away from your shirt or thinking of lifting the bottom two ribs, that will not let you disengage in your low belly and plunk into your low back. So in this quadruped position, the first thing that we're going to do is just curl the tailbone down towards the floor and let the head fall between the arms, and then pull your belly away from your shirt and dome your spine up towards the ceiling. And then to lengthen, you're just going to keep your tailbone where it is, but steer it back and lengthen through the lumbar spine, through the rib cage, through the shoulder blades, through the crown of the head, and take the crown of the head one direction and the tailbone back the other way. So now we're decompressing the spine and the neutral spine in a quadruped position. Curl the tailbone under, pull the belly button up, pull the ribs up, let the head hang. Take the tailbone back, lengthen through the lumbar spine, the rib cage. The spine grows between the shoulder blades, the head reaches one direction and the tail the other. We're going to reverse that. You're going to bring your chin in towards your chest. You're going to lift your breastbone. You're going to lift your ribs. You're going to lift your waist. Send the tailbone down between the knees. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. Lengthen the neck. Pull the breastbone through your arms. Your rib cage lengthens, your lumbar spine lengthens, and your tailbone reaches back towards the back wall. Let's take a rest with our wrist by coming down onto your forearms with your thumbs up to the ceiling, keeping your tailbone pretty much where it is. Let your head hang naturally between your arms. And then just push your elbows forward so that your tailbone goes back, and then just pull your breastbone forward. So we're just rocking through this quadruped position. So we're using the pelvis, we're using the shoulder girdle. The shins and the forearms are doing the same work. And then come to this position, just wag your tail from side to side. And then take yourself back up into your quadruped position. Separate the fingers, middle finger and pointer finger pointing mostly forward. Turn the elbows towards the thighs. Reach through the crown of the head and through the tailbone, and then drag your belly away from your shirt, or just lift those bottom two ribs, and you'll be engaged in neutral in your torso. We're going to slide one leg back and lift it up to hip height. Hold for 3 breaths, and then just bring that knee back down and reorganize. Slide the other leg back. So this is how we prepared for the planks, and then push the leg up. But we're going to be doing a lot of work in this quadruped position, which also does a lot of belly strengthening. So now we've reached each leg, we're going to reach each arm. So slide one hand all the way along the leather until it reaches up to shoulder height. Again, keeping the pelvis in neutral, trying to stabilize everything else. And then reach that out and slide it back. Reorganize just for a second there. Slide that hand along until it reaches up. And bring it back down. Slide that first leg back. Square up your pelvis and your shoulders. Reach the leg so long that it lifts, and it just might be a hover. And then slide the opposite arm forward. And if you can lift it, lift it. If not, just keep that length with the fingertips. And we're holding each one of these for about 3 breaths. And then slide the first leg back, reach through the heel, square up the pelvis, square up the shoulder girdle, reach that leg long, slide this hand forward, and the touching, you can stay there. And if possible, lift one arm, one leg. And then bring that all down. Take the first leg back, lift it up, and then flex your ankle and bring your heel towards your glutes. And then lengthen the leg back, pull the heel in. We're going for 3. And when we do things with focus, we don't need very many repetitions if we're doing them well. And then slide the other leg back, push it up to hip height, and then pull that heel in, and you can soften as you reach. Flex the heel in, reach. One more, and bring that knee in. And then wag your tail from side to side. And then if you have good knees, you can open your knees and go back into a child's pose here. But the idea is to pull the belly up so that you're not dipping all your weight down into your knees. If you have problematic knees, you want to stay in the quadruped position and just soften your arms and wag, just so you get some movement there. Then find your quadruped position again. Spin those pointy parts of your elbows back. Lengthen through the crown of the head, send the tailbone the opposite direction. And if someone were underneath you with a spotlight, they could see space between each vertebra. And then you're going to pull the bottom ribs up just a little so that you're not having any overarching in the low back, or I always think of just pulling my belly away from my shirt. And then you're going to slide the first leg back and pick it up. And you're going to bend the knee out to the side and then push it back and turn the knee down. 3 of those. And then lengthen that leg, turn the knee down to the floor, fold the knee in, and reorganize. Slide the other leg back, reach through the heel, keep the pelvis square. And on one side, it can be trickier to keep your pelvis square than the other, and then just bending the knee and bringing it out to the side. And the whole idea is just to keep your pelvis squared up, and you will naturally feel the weight shift in your upper body while you're keeping that even. Then let's just take a little break for our wrists, so you can tuck the toes under and just sit back a little bit. That won't be too much on your knees. You might feel some quad engagement. And just round your back, send your tailbone back just to get some weight off those wrists for a minute. And then let's try that on the forearms. So you come into your quadruped position, and then you just walk your hands out so you can bring your forearms down, hug your thumbs inside your hand, and we'll try something similar here. I think this is actually more difficult than being up on the hands, but up in the full quadruped position. But if it challenges your wrists, this is a good option. So you're going to slide the leg back and lift it. So we're going to do a different leg movement, but it's just different options for your arms as you practice this. And then, or your upper body. Take the leg across the body and come back. And again, I'm going for 3. And then bring that knee in. And this is a forearm plank, basically. And then you're going to slide the leg back and pick it up and cross over the midline. And again, you're trying to keep your torso stable. Belly away from the shirt is always a good recovery point. And then just flatten your palms, and you're going to press through your palms and straighten your elbows. And this is a huge tricep engagement. Mine are quivering. It's deceptively difficult. One more. I went past the 3 for this one because we're strengthening a part that doesn't get enough work. And then here you can round your spine up towards the ceiling, push your shins down, push the mat away with the hands, and that should lighten the load on your wrist. And again, if you need a break for your wrist, just kind of come back. You can circle them. You can shake them out. All right. In the quadruped position, now we're going to try to move the arms separately. And we could do this with hand weights, but since we were attempting to use no accessories for this series so that you didn't have to go to a lot of work in the future, we might incorporate some accessories. So you're just going to take this arm and reach it out and bring it down just to where your fingers tap the floor. And again, you're stabilizing the rest of you, so this is a lot of work. Reorganize, and then just reach the other arm out. And you'll feel a lot of shoulder blade engagement because our shoulder blades get stuck back there by all the forward action. And then walk back and take the weight off the wrists. Shake them out, circle them around. And then this one's going to be a super challenge. You can always just break it down into either to one part of it. We've done each part of it separately during this routine. So you're going to take your leg back and you're going to lift it up and you're going to keep your pelvis square. You're going to bend your knee and bring your foot like you're going to plant it on the ceiling. And then you're going to make a big circle. You're going to take your knee out to the side, you're going to bring it down, and you're going to pick it up. And so in the very beginning in our fundamentals, we did this lying on our back. We did knee circles. And then reverse it. Just 3 in each direction. You're trying to keep everything else very stable. And again, every time you pull your belly away from your shirt, it will lighten up the weight in your hands. Take the other leg back, lift it up, bend the knee, and then circle around. Bring the knee down, out to the side. And all of this is very upper body strengthening because we're keeping stable there. And then for the finish, Keeping your tailbone where it is. Reach your arms out as far in front of you as you can with the tailbone reaching back the other direction. And then you're just going to lift your breastbone and send your hips forward and take your chin up. Your head follows your spine, so you're just lifting that breastbone forward and then push back. 2 more times. Lift the hips and press forward and open the chest. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back. Last one. Press the hips forward, lift the breastbone. And then walk your hands back. And we're finished. See you next time.